against Usyk live on talkSPORT. Simon and I have been joined by Barry McGuigan this Thursday lunchtime as the big fight gets ever closer. And of course, the man largely credited quite rightly with bringing these big fights to Saudi Arabia, getting them on and letting us see the action that we want to see is the Saudi Turkey Al Sheikh, who joined us on this very show not so long ago. And on his Twitter feed recently, Turkey said, for the first time ever, an AI-powered judge will monitor the fight free from bias and human error, brought to you by The Ring. This groundbreaking experiment, which won't impact the official result, debuts during the biggest fight of the century. So it's all very different. Barry, I don't know what your take on that is. Simon will have his. Here we are for the first time ever, an AI-powered judge. What's your thinking?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm open to change. Anything that will improve, get the decisions right, has got to be good. It'll be interesting to see how that works.
I mean, it's been brought in because judging proves to be a problem.
Yeah, well, I mean,
in boxing,
and you know what? No, absolutely, absolutely, Jim and Simon. It is almost impossible to be unbiased. It is almost impossible.
Well, as a judge,
yes, I think it is almost impossible. I think that you're swayed by the audience. You're swayed by certain styles. You may like one style as opposed to another. It's almost impossible. So only the very best judges should be judging. And let me tell you something. Mark Ramsey, done Tyson a favour in that 9th round. There is absolutely no question about it. I'm sure the Usyk guys said, we're not having him again. We're going to have somebody else. Because you look at that 9th round. He battered him round the ring. The referee jumped in, stopped, and he took 5 seconds to get him to go to the corner. Then he turned around and administered the count. Then he looked at him again, paused, give him another 5 to 10 seconds, and then let Usyk come in. Bing, the bell goes. Lost his chance.
They'll want the ref that they had in Poland, where Daniel Dubois had to wait 4 minutes for him to recover.
I thought you'd come back with something, Simon. That's a very good one. Let me tell you something.
What did you think of what the referee did in that first Fury Usyk fight then? What did you think at that moment?
I thought the referee took a long time to administer the count.
Come on, Barry. Are you showing that he was swayed towards Fury?
I'm saying that it looked like he was doing him a favour. He was trying to help him out, trying to get to the bell before he allowed Usyk to have another attack at him. And he had like 5-10 seconds, bang, the bell went. So he didn't get the chance to finish him off, basically.
Should he have got in the way? I mean, there's a school of thought that says that he thought Fury was going down, and the ropes kept him up. Yeah. I'm of the camp that Fury was going, and he should have allowed Usyk to continue because it's a world title fight with two protagonists at the level. Yeah. Are you in the space that the referee should have been anywhere
I'm 100% behind you, Simon. I think he should have allowed him to try and finish him. I think he wasn't he didn't hit the deck, and although his backside almost hit the bottom rope, but he got up again. He didn't hit the floor, and therefore, in that case, it should have been allowed to. He should have been allowed to try and finish the job. Now, look, there's an argument against that, and he was saying, "I'm trying to protect the fighter. Mm-hmm. I should have." He'd looked like he was going to go down. If it hadn't been for the ropes, level, he wouldn't have gone, or he would have gone down, and therefore I would have been giving him a count. So I had to give him that interval and that rest period.
We'll finish the chat today before we go at 1. On, of course, Fury Usyk. Before we do that, though, we want to talk with Barry about what next for Anthony Joshua. Joshua, of course, absolutely dismantled at Wembley by Daniel Dubois. Eddie Hearn joined us last week and discussed what might be next for AJ.
If Fury was to win, we have a chance to make Fury against AJ for the Unified World Heavyweight Championship, which will be the biggest fight in the sport. If he loses, we still have the chance to make AJ against Fury, maybe as a, go on boys, go to war for 2 fights, and then maybe sail off into the sunset. Who knows? I mean, or Tyson Fury could lose and you might never see him again. So for us, with the AJ hat on, there's only really 2 fights for him in boxing. One is a Daniel Dubois rematch, and one is a Tyson Fury fight. I don't think there's interest in us having like an interim fight or coming back against this guy in the top 15. Like, how many fights have we got left? Could be 1, could be 3.
So that was Eddie Hearn. Barry, I'll ask you straight. A Daniel Dubois rematch or a fight with Fury, will he have earned that? Either of them.
I think his reputation, what he's achieved in the sport, he deserves a chance to come back. I think he has a chance against Tyson Fury. I don't think he has a chance against Usyk. And I don't think he has a chance either against Daniel Dubois. Dubois is an explosive puncher on the way up. And I just think that Joshua, and I don't want to be negative, sound negative all the time. I just think Joshua's ability to take a shot has disappeared. He just can't hold a shot anymore. And that is, you cannot be in a fight in a boxing match with guys of that weight and size and the power without having a good chin. And I just think his chin is letting him down, and I don't think he should fight anymore. If I were him, I would never box again. He's done enough in the sport. He's been great. He deserves his chance, but I think you're asking me honestly. I think both Usyk and I think he's a great chance against Tyson Fury, but against Usyk and Dubois, they'll both take him out.
But you're telling us this lunchtime, it's time for AJ to retire.
If I were managing AJ, I would say stop. Don't do anymore. You've done great. You've got a great reputation. He's a lovely young man. He's got a career ahead of him in commentary if he wants. He doesn't need to because he's earned so much money. So there's loads of things he can do. I just think his ability to soak up a shot has disappeared, and therefore that's the time to exit.
What's your take on that, Simon?
Well, I mean, I had the great privilege to do up front with Barry about 6, 7, 8 months ago. And one of the things I took away, and I phoned him afterwards, was I should have done a bit more time listening than talking over him. And he knows that. I said it to him. But we discussed Anthony Joshua, and we talked about this background noise of the rehabilitation, of how he'd come back from where he'd been with Usyk and the challenges that he'd got, and that he'd fought Franklin, he'd fought Hellenius, he'd fought Otto Wallin. I don't think we'd have a discussion by that time, but it would be before Otto Wallin. But I never felt that Anthony had been rehabilitated. I didn't think he was back to his best. And Barry at the time had said that he felt the lights had gone out, not as a disrespectful opportunity, but ultimately he was looking at a fighter. He knows what he's looking at. I might imagine what I think I'm looking at, but he knows because he's been a fighter. And I felt that the first time someone put one on Anthony Joshua on his whiskers, he was going to go. And that's what Daniel Dubois did. Now, I would suspect anybody who got hit by Daniel Dubois the way Daniel Dubois hit him is going to go.
Tremendous puncher.
I don't think Anthony Joshua should fight again. No, I don't. I think that he was cleared out and cleaned out by Daniel Dubois, and it might be very difficult for him to contest that or to process that in his thinking. And, of course, commercially, everyone's going to buzz around him and go, well, this is so much money. Why would you be going out now? Now, this boy's made 300 million quid. He doesn't need to be in the boxing ring
100%. And somebody needs. I think he's a bright kid, Joshua. I think he knows. At some stage in your life, your ability start to erode, and your ability to take a punch. And the one thing about boxing is you need to be able to soak up a shot, especially as a good heavyweight, especially with guys like that. So you need to exit if you can.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.